Where and with whom do you live? This has become an increasingly big problem. We have this call often. Typically happens if in a situation where somebody with a family member with disabilities, family member gets older, family member gets disabled, family member has a stroke. In your family with disabilities that is work eligible or work able, their work life is so critical. And it is an absolute work life for people with disabilities is just as critical as it is to any other person. And at some point, I mean, people that work that in jobs supported by the ARC are very proud of it. Social life and family life are critical elements in anybody's life. And in the disability community, it's even more so. Absolutely. I love independent decision making. What that means is we have a person with some level of disabilities that can make medical decisions on their own, sometimes with a little bit of assistance. This is a person with Asperger's. This is a person with high-functioning Down syndrome. We have people that make medical decisions that we are supported by the ARC, and I fully support this. But to do this, they need guidance. Go ahead. They should have advanced medical directives. You can get them. I'm going to give you the websites tonight. You're going to have advanced medical directives just to say, who are my doctors, who helps me make decisions, and what are the kind of decisions I want help with. This is critical when we talk about a doctor shortage and a care shortage. 5 Wishes is one of the greatest documents ever written. It is a living will, it is a medical power of attorney, and it is a statement of your intent. And it's written in English. It is fully recognized in most states. I think we said 43. We checked the other day. Maryland recognizes this. And people with some disabilities can fully comprehend it and sometimes complete it with very little assistance. It's the greatest document I've ever seen. You can also talk about your funeral wishes. Now, you can talk about anything you want, where I want to be buried, what music I want to play. It is the most humanistic document I've ever met. This is an absolute phenomenal resource. And people that are capable of making independent, whether they have disabilities or not, should have this document. What we have found is in the disability community, this is a lot easier than taking the form that the state of Maryland gives us, which is written by lawyers. This is written by human beings. Okay? And the two should never be confused. Okay? Let me just tell you what surrogate decision making is. Can a person with a disability, with the help of a legal surrogate, not a guardian, a surrogate, make informed medical decisions? There is a problem with surrogate decision making. And let me tell you what it is. It has nothing to do with the law or whether it's the right thing for your family member. What it has to do with is the way that society is practicing medicine right now. Now, I represent some doctor practices, so this is not a knock on physicians. But I want you to go back to what I said earlier. We have a shortage of doctors. We have some cultural issues when it comes to doctors and communication. And we have a process issue. That's why minute clinics are springing up all over the place. The delivery of health care is quick now. It's almost assembly line. Check your ears, check your nose, antibiotic, out the door. You have a sinus infection. Go. That doesn't work well with surrogates. Because what people with disabilities need is to understand what's going on with the help of someone, and that takes time. And time is the enemy of medicine right now. And that is not directed at doctors. That is the way the system is. It's about moving people through the system. And when you need to explain something through a surrogate, it takes time. So if you decide to be a surrogate, you have to read all 21 pages. You have to know the law. You have to find the right doctors. You have to help the person with disabilities come to a physician's group or a care group that understands the disability community and can work with them. Okay, medical planning. Level 3 is when you know somebody or you are a parent or a guardian over someone and that person cannot help with their own decisions. The guardian, the person and property. Go ahead. Generally, it's somebody that is completely disabled, somebody oftentimes born that way, or through an accident or through a series of other events, progressive or degenerative. It's a person that can't make any decisions or can't have input into their decisions. Here's our problem with guardianships. The process of getting a guardianship, and here's what normally happens. We have a slew of these happen when somebody becomes 18 or 22, depending on when they're coming out of certain programs. We'll talk about it. Our biggest issue now, though, is finding guardians. Families are more spread out. Families are smaller. And being a guardian is a pretty big responsibility, because once you go to court, you think, oh, good. Judge rubber stamped it. And then you go down to the trust clerk's office. What do they make you do, Kim? It's amazing. You have to go to guardian school. You have to go back. Court-ordered guardian school. They make you go to guardian school to learn how to be a guardian. And you have 60 days to file your first report to the court about the assets and liabilities. And you got to file an annual report with them to talk about what you did for your guardian's assets. How were they invested? How were they spent? It's a full-blown accounting. So it's not a one-shot deal. So finding people willing to do that is becoming a problem.